Hey everyone, happy Saturday and welcome to another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So, this came in today for a few things. Let me come back to that in a minute. Mainly I came in this morning to finish this, well, not finish this one, obviously. This thing's got a long way to go. However, I did finish putting on the sway bar. So if you follow the channel, you know the story here. If not, I'll be brief. This car came in and it had a sway bar on it. However, as it turns out, it was a ball joint sway bar, which is shaped quite differently, and it seemed to be binding and keeping the suspension from moving really. So went ahead and took that off and put on a proper link pin one. Again, I think I mentioned yesterday, link pin one comes out much wider over here before it curves back, so that one was kind of like interfering in here. And then the angles and stuff for the arms are somewhat different between a ball joint and a link pin. So yeah, it just didn't fit well, and it was obviously binding and causing some issues. So now it's got the right one on it, so that should help things a lot. I'd also previously gone through and checked the link pin shims. It had a link pin that was not really spinning without a great deal of force in the bushing, so took care of that. So yeah, hopefully his front suspension's all fairly dialed in now. So that was pretty much what I did on this one. I reconnected their brake lines, checked that the brake lines were tight on the master cylinder, which they weren't. Again, this is why we check literally everything that anyone's done before. 2 out of the 3 were loose anyway. What else? Yeah, I got all the brake lines reconnected. The hard line that goes between the master cylinder and the reservoir should be here like Monday. So I still need to adjust the brakes, connect that, put some juice in it, and then we'll see about bleeding these brakes after I check the rear system. So that's pretty much it for this guy. Baby steps here. Again, checking pretty much everything that was done on the car. So let me come back to this one here. This is a car owned by a lady here in Orange. I think she said she's like literally a mile and a half from the shop. And she's been asking to bring the car in for a while, and we finally managed to work it out. As you can see, really, really pretty car. It is, I don't know if I mentioned, it's a 65 convertible, obviously. Nice looking car. I don't know who, put this car together or whatever, but it's a pretty one. And she saved her money and bought this car. She's always wanted a convertible V-dub, the way she's explained it to me. And the car has just been kind of a disappointment. It's like stalled on her a lot and stuff. It wasn't really reliable. She was kind of at the verge of maybe getting rid of it. She had it at some other mechanic shop, and I don't know who, and if I did, I probably wouldn't say their name, but they supposedly fixed it and it ran okay for like a week or two, and then it started like stalling again. And somehow he told her that it had a cracked cylinder head. I don't know how he would have come to that conclusion. Anyway, so she was just done with that guy, and so she brought it to us, and yeah, she managed to get it started. I guess they had to like jump start it and finally get it started and running and drive it over here. And I very quickly saw why they were having to jump start it and having issues. And so a couple things. One is the battery voltage was quite low. And basically what I found was, this is going to be kind of hard to see, but the posts on the battery, so that's a positive on that side, negative on this side, they were not even finger tight on the actual battery posts. Like I barely touched one and it almost like fell right off the battery. So I can't imagine what shop worked on this thing and like didn't even tighten the battery clamps onto the battery. I mean, that's, I don't know what that is. And then the battery was low, which not surprisingly, I just seriously doubt it was taking any charge hooked up such as it was. or barely hooked up at best. And then the other thing that I found is I had it on the charger. I had the terminals off the battery, and then when I went to put it back to reconnect it to start the car, I turned on the key and nothing happened. And so I started looking, and this thicker wire here, which is the one that runs over to the voltage regulator that you can't really see, trust me, it's back there. That wire just like fell out of this battery terminal here. Like, I don't even know if it must have like been barely held on there at all, just because just by me removing this terminal from the post on the battery, which again was very loose, that wire just like fell out of the terminal here. So I mean, it's probably not surprising that this lady was having so much trouble starting it, and that it would like occasionally die and stuff, because I think the connection here was so bad that it just was, losing power probably, and I don't know. So I'm gonna see what I can do with that. I put that wire back in there and tightened the little clamp on the battery or terminal itself to like hold that in there, but I'll go and look and see if I can come up with something a little better, or replace it with a factory cable which has this pigtail like coming out of it, versus this one which is just kind of like clamped in there. So I don't know, we'll see, but I'll come up with something more reliable than what's going on here. The battery may or may not be that good. I had it on a charger for a while, and it kind of was taking a charge, but kind of not. We'll see. So I may pull this out and take it to my Flaps friendly local auto parts store, and have them, run a test on it and stuff, see if the battery's any good. But I'm guessing that it just hasn't been charging because the connections were so bad in here. Because when I did finally get it fired up, the car does have some gauges just kind of laying in there, but that's fine. I saw like 12 volts or so, which is a little bit low, but again, if the battery's low, that would kind of pull the whole system down. So I think the charging system's probably okay, and the battery is just really low and or bad maybe. So that's pretty simple, I think, to get to the bottom of all that. As far as the car stalling and stuff like that, I think it probably just needs the carburetor gone through. I guess that the other mechanic didn't go through it. Who knows what people do or don't do. I mean, it looks fairly clean, so maybe they went through it, but I feel like the way it's running, it's probably just got some trash in the carburetor maybe. And again, we don't necessarily trust anyone's work, and I don't know who this other mechanic is. So I'll check the timing, I'll check the points, etc. Maybe even do like a valve adjustment. I'll check the oil, see how clean it looks, stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's just a matter of giving this motor a little love, and taking care of some details. Like I said, maybe the timing's off, the carburetor is probably just dirty. It's got the dreaded fire starter set up here, so I'll delete that and put it over by the transmission, of course. Can't really let a car leave the shop like that. So yeah, I think honestly it just needs a little love, and I think it's going to be a great running car for her. It does have a dual port in it, which a 65 still would have had a 40 horse. So, it's got a little upgraded motor in there. Should be a great running little car. I think it just needs some love, and so that's what we'll give it. This hits here. You got to kind of stand on the bumper to get the deck lid closed. So I may see if I can adjust the bumper down a little bit. Little details like that. Kind of help her out with some things while we've got it in the shop that are, kind of easy little fixes like that. But yeah, pretty car. And I think she's going to really have fun with it once we get it kind of dialed in and make it reliable and start well and all that stuff for her, so she has confidence. She's talking about wanting to drive it to the beach, and I mean, who wouldn't? It's Southern California. This is a red convertible Beetle. Like, I couldn't imagine a more perfect scenario than driving this baby to the beach. So yeah, we want to make that happen for her. So that would be it for today, guys. Appreciate you watching, and I think tomorrow I will drop the video of the walk around that I did on that white 65 that was just in here, just so that you guys have something to watch on Sunday for for people who look forward to our content. There's probably like 1 or 2 people out there that fit that description. So yeah, we'll probably go ahead and drop that tomorrow, and then obviously this one today, Saturday. So with that, I will see you guys again soon. Hope everyone enjoys your weekend. Bye.